What's up, Sag? Talking about the full moon we have coming up in Capricorn. It's gonna be a good time. Somebody just drove by playing, I think it was Raspberry Beret. It was a good Prince tune, but it was like the Raspberry Beret. So we're talking about the full moon that we have coming up in Capricorn. And I love you so much. And I love you enough to say the harsh things to you. I'm an Aries sun. Leo's video was harsh as well. So I'm only saying these things, fire sign to fire sign, because we are the main characters. Hella high water, good, bad, or ugly. And people are always watching. You are the life of the party, but I need you to look at your addictions. What realities are you avoiding? Normally I call that palavras certas. It's a Portuguese phrase that means right words, but right now it's just a little bit of like moisture. As you can see, the Mother Nature keeps us on our toes and gives us a little Rosanna Dana sometimes. So it's a good time. It's a good time. But so the sun is in Cancer, and we were talking, this is mostly for Sag rising, but this can be watched by Sag sun and Sag moon as well. But the grid itself is set up for the whole sign, like, or whole house, full sign video. I don't really know how to say it, but the sun right now is in Cancer, in your 8th house of transformation, death, Phoenix run house, rebirth, sexuality, sensuality. It's like if the 2nd house, where this full moon is money, please, values, access to resources, is what we put in the box when we move. This is where we're moving, and the people that we're sharing that with, inheritances, like wills. It is a Scorpio run house. So we've got water energy. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. And a lot of the times we can, as astrologers, fear the transits of the 8th house because like, oh my God, it's the lions and tigers and bears. I don't know why the Boston's coming out for your video, but I get a little bit like ba-dum-bum-ch when I'm nervous, and it's you, Sag, so I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you get a little bit sassy, you get a little bit it's usually when you're most depressed and sad and anxious, when you start displacing and start drinking or overeating or smoking too much because you don't want to feel the deep feelings and see what's underneath it. But whatever it is that Pluto is trying to get you to see over here, dipping back down into Capricorn, about your addictions and about your like playing small, whatever it may be, like you're not receiving your fullness because you're not looking at something. Yeah. And it sucks to look at the darker sides of yourselves. But as leaders, it's why we're here as starseeds and light workers and light warriors. We are consciousness running this meat suit. If you don't feel as though you fit into this world, it's because you're here to create a new one. But also for a lot of us, like I'm just visiting. I'm not here to create new karma. I'm not here to create new patterns. I'm healing all the things from the past so I can get off the merry-go-round of humaning and planet Earth. Please go back and watch my introductory video for this full moon. We talk a little bit about that, about like if you've been repeating the same patterns, repeating the same things over and over and over again, and finally you're just like, none of this feels good. My parents told me to get the job, so I got the job, and now I can go to Marshall's on Friday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but that's not really a win for me. I could go to Marshall's normally. Or you were told that, to be whole, you needed to be with a partner, and now you're with a partner, but you're like, why do I always have to teach them something? Why am I always babying them? Why am I always treating them like I did my mother? And it just becomes gross, and you're just like, So then we grab cannabis flower, or we grab food, or we grab alcohol, and I'm saying this because I love you, so please stay with me, Sag. We're releasing these. I'm going to have my full moon healing. I'll put the link below for that. We're releasing addictions, unhealthy addictions. I had this beautiful image come to mind today, this beautiful image about addictions, because if you've been here with me, you know that I've been really authentic with you. I'm removing cannabis flower for my everyday. I was a wake and baker. I was a stoned doing all the things, having fun, and have a very high tolerance. When I was a drinker, I the tolerance of an Irish dock worker. Yeah. 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 And for a while, I was like, look at you. You're great. But now, that addiction doesn't go anywhere. Oh, that's the parable that came to me today. Think of addiction, because you got to name it. You got to name it. You got to give it like something else, because it is not you. But addiction is as if, think of a fly. When there's a fly in the house, there's a fly in the house somewhere over here. And the fly is like zip, zip, zip. Think of the fly that is addiction, label the fly addiction, and it is in your being, in your human body. And there's no way out. It's just bumping into all the different sides of your body, sometimes in your fingers, sometimes in your toes, sometimes in your head, and it's all over the place. It cannot leave. It is a part of you. It is a part of you. There is no way to ever get rid of, if you have the seed of addiction, in my opinion. And again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything, I'm just a starseed, a light worker, you're a spiritual counselor, a healer, like, I'm not a doctor. So if you need to go talk to someone else and scroll past my face, that's okie dokie. But if you have the seed of addiction in you as a starseed, or as a person, it's never gonna go away. You gotta put it towards something that's healthy. And check the health. Like, I've seen people that have gone from drinkers to, they'll be overly exercised. And then they'll want to compete, and then they'll do a competition, and then the day after, or the day, when you're in, if you've ever seen a bodybuilding competition or a bikini competition, you've seen the gluttony that comes immediately after the show, where you have cookie, sushi, all the things. And for people that are healthy and competitive bodybuilders, that's a part of the process. And then they come down from that, and then they eat in a more healthy way. But if you have displaced that addiction seed to gone from overeating or over drinking, and then you went super healthy, and then you right back to the eating again, extreme highs and extreme lows, we're trying to get to like ripples. And get to know your addiction, and get to know it just like the same way that we have an inner child and we have an inner adolescent. There's so many moments that I'll be letting my inner child play, I'll be doing my body art, and I'm painting and I'm playing, and then there'll be this incredible rage that my inner adolescent wants to feel, because she's like, I want to go back, and I want to talk to birth mom and dad, and I want to tell them what's what, and I want to do this. But you can't. Even though those people are physically alive at this point, I can't go back to the 90s and unpack it then. I have to do it in meditation. I have to reparent myself, calm my adolescent, calm my inner adolescent, let her go spend time with my higher self. I don't have to be a part of it. Like, the internal work that we do can seem and be perceived as exhausting. But when we do the work, that just becomes our focus. Instead of saying, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to do this, I'm just going to drink, I'm just going to wake and bake, I'm just going to eat, and I'm just not going to feel it, I'm just not going to do any of it. What if we just looked at it and used that incredible Sag lens and are just like, no, I'm going to look at this with the light of the Sag. Sag is run by Jupiter. You have this optimism, this hope built into you that is so lovely and so beautiful. So what if you looked at your own shit pile, your own life, your own mistakes, your own self, and your own addictive tendencies, and you're like, you know what? No, I fucking love you. I love you just as you are. I love you so much, even though you overeat, you overdrink, you oversmoke, even though you've done all those things, I believe that you can be the better version of yourself, even if it's just tonight. Even if it's just tonight you choose not to drink. Even if it's just tonight you choose not to overeat. You choose tonight not to binge and purge. That's one day that you didn't. One day that you chose not to. Because this is our house of money as well. Like, if you're like, Sarah, like, this really doesn't apply to me, I don't have addictive tendencies, then we're just like releasing lack mentality, I'd say. And just like, when we're going to be manifesting later on in a few weeks in your 8th house of transformation, death, and rebirth and shared possessions, be like, I'm going to get an extra few zeros from some random relative that just I didn't even know they existed, but they left it to me. But right now, like, if you're constantly checking out when you do get in a big abundance, you're going to have a lot of people around you that are able to just like weasel in, Sag, and just be like, yeah, take this shot, take this drink, do this thing, do this, that. And then they'll just take the fucking money out your back pocket. These are little things that we can do to protect ourselves. Because even if we're single, like money is your, like money, date your bag. And that can be, if you're divine feminine presenting, that can be the divine masculine that gives you the safety and security that you need. Because you've got so much abundance and goodness, like things can pop in quick in your 6th house over here. Yeah, but with Saturn and Neptune and Pisces, definitely go back and watch the mental health video and Saturn and Pisces, or the Saturn and Pisces, like it's mental health is no joke right now, because this is happening in your 4th house of house and home. So you as a mutable axis must just feel that, like, what is real? Does any of this even fucking matter? But as one of my favorite astrologers, Pam Gregory, once said, every decision that we make in our everyday lives right now, it's as if we're playing chess. You know, and at the beginning, sometimes we can be like pawn crazy, be like, I don't need this one, I don't need this one, I don't need this one, I don't need this one more drink, one more smoke, one more this, one more that, oh, I'll just binge and purge, it's totally okay. And then we're out of pawns. And then we're left feeling naked and defenseless. And as if those little micro decisions actually ended up being a bigger issue. So let's look at it now. Let's deal with it now. I love you. And I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of how far you've come. Don't beat yourself up. Please don't beat yourself up. We're looking at like generations of things that we're healing, generations of problems that you're solving, and contracts that you're ending. And I know that it just seems overwhelming. But a journey of 1,000 miles, they say, begins with one step. Take that step with me, Sag. I believe in you. Ciao.